Good one, Karthik. Alright, are we live? Hi, hello, कर दो chat में. If you guys can see me, you guys can hear me. Hello, hello, hello. Alrighty. क्या हाल है जनता? How's it going? Shout out दे दो प्रेम लक्ष्य कदोरा. Slow mode on कर लेता हूँ second. How are you guys doing at 10 p.m. at night? I did watch the World Cup. I mean, sort of did. Left it towards the end of it when it was obvious that we're not going to win, but I did. Alright. Let's wait for a few more people to join and then we will start. Oh my god. Slow mode. I think slow mode is on. Should I turn it back off? We decrease the duration and then we will go. Where is it? Let's see 1 second. Customization, let's make it 10 seconds. Alright. सो जाओ भाई. Alright, hi everyone. तो सोचा let's go live. And yeah, happy to chat through anything you guys want to. Just a casual ask me anything or any specific questions. So yeah, let's get right into it. If I'm being honest, I didn't have too much prepared for this one. Alright, let's get into the chat and I'm going to give out a few shout outs. Seems like people want that. Vikas ko hi. Sir, do you enjoy your life? It's okay. Most days it's okay only. Sir, Zerodha project's details, what would it be like? It would basically be like, it's not exactly Zerodha, I say. It's basically something like NSE and BSE, like building a core exchange and everything that's required there. New York mein kya kar rahe ho, sir? Good question. I missed my flight. So I had a flight from SF to New York to Delhi. And SF to New York got delayed because of some rain. And that is why I am here for 2 days and then back to Delhi. US is pretty decent, good as always. I am usually thankfully stay in the better parts, which is why it's safe only. Yeah, people keep saying it's unsafe, gun laws, all these things. Feels pretty safe to me usually. That might also be because, I'm in the good parts. Will Cohort 2.0 cover GSOC 2024? So it won't cover anything technically, but we will be going through projects. Yeah, the goal would be to very aggressively learn things fast so that, we're comfortable by Jan and start to look at code bases. Alright. From where will you start the course? From the basics, which means there might be a foundational class, there will be a foundational class of HTML, CSS, JavaScript as well. Very, from the top enough that we need to get started. So it will be from the basics. We want to directly dive into React. That's a little too much. It's not the right way to learn. All right. How is remote jobs market for a junior dev? Great question and not great. Frankly, it has never been great for a junior dev. Remote jobs are not. It's a very transactional thing, right? Someone's paying you for some 200 university people. Slowly teach them and get them up there. It's basically we need someone to work, and if this person from India is good, they will work. So basically it's never a junior engineer market when it comes to remote jobs. What is the goal of Cohort 2.0? Good question. So the high level goal or the difference, I guess, between first and second one is high focus on people who weren't happy in the first one and who weren't happy in the first one, either complete beginners or complete advanced people. So that is why it's been divided into 2 parts. Pick and choose. If you're a complete beginner, then only go from 0 to 1 unless you really want to hone into your skills and go from 1 to 100. If you already know 0 to 1 things, then go for 1 to 100. That was the high level reason. Create that distinction up front so that it's a good experience for everyone and also people can buy it for cheaper if, their only goal is one of the two. And that said, my personal motivation goal, if you look at the advanced curriculum, my personal motivation is that there are a lot of things to learn there that's not covered generally on the internet. So have all of that together in one place is my high level goal. All right. Can I upskill from zero in 6 months? So, good question. Short answer is these things happen in cycles, which means first time you will do it, you will reach at some point. Then next time also you start from scratch, build a project again. Next time it's faster, and then more faster, so on and so forth. So long story short is yes, but 6 months is enough to go from 0 to 1. But you might still be a junior engineer by the end of it, because practice doing the same thing over a few years makes you slightly better. Blockchain developer versus MERN stack, which platform? Oh shit, I lost that message. Platform has longer careers for beginners. For beginners, full stack is a better bet to take. Once you're bored of full stack is when you want to venture into Web3, AI, trading, these things. So long story short is beginner, just focus on MERN, because that will create your foundation for 100 different things, including these fancy technologies. Cloud computing roadmap. I mean, my roadmap video that I released 2 months ago sort of covers cloud pretty extensively. You can look at that. How do you remember all the stuff, languages, so many frameworks? Good question. Good thing is you don't have to. You just need to know the high level frameworks, and if you know this is how reconciliation works, then React and Vue are just syntax ka difference, right? Same for other backend languages, and you don't have to know everything. You stick to one thing usually, do that for a really long time, and then if you change your company, the stack is different is when you learn the new thing. How helpful is 0 to 100 if you want to enter the data science market? Probably none, like not at all. Completely separate thing. Should not join if data science is your goal. How's the developer market right now? Good question. So this is going to be released in a video, hopefully soon. But I'll give you a TLDR. TLDR is there are 3 kind of people that are hiring remote jobs. I'm very disconnected from FANG. So I literally have no idea of वहाँ पे कैसी हायरिंग है, क्या हायरिंग है. आई मेट अ फ्यू लाइक बैचमेट्स ऑफ माइन, जहाँ से मुझे पता लगा कि हाँ अच्छी ही है, मतलब एज इन एटलीस्ट फॉर माई बैच पीपल आर डूइंग गुड ओनली. एवरी वंस मेकिंग, यू आर सेलिंग मी नंबर्स इज प्रीटी गुड. ओ सीरियसली माइट बी अ लैग. तो फैंग से मैं डिस्कनेक्टेड हूँ, नॉट श्योर. रिमोट जॉब्स में TLDR is there are 3 kind of people that they need to hire. 1, complete junior आके cheap developer who comes and builds things from the ground up, can be write bad code. Number 2, person who actually stabilizes the code, goes deep into one niche and owns a specific part, for example front end, back end, DevOps. Number 3, when the company becomes really big, is when it becomes a standard FANG only. After Series B is when any startup also becomes a FANG, and then उस time पे it's the expectation is really good engineer. They don't have a lot of people from India, and the people that they do have from India are very good at a specific thing. So that's the third category. Okay, basically very hard to get hired in the third category. First and second way you will probably fit. First would be complete scrappy developer helping a startup from 0 to 1. Second would be 0 to 1, the startup has gone, maybe has raised a productivity engineer, things like these. These are the 2 things to target initially. That's if you have to prepare keeping that in mind. Okay, these are the 2 sort of technologies or like job roles I want to prepare for, and go from there. Drop your Punjabi song playlist. I can just, it's Karan Aujla and a few other singers who are stuck in controversy right now, so I won't name them. How can I become Sigma? बढ़िया सा क्वेश्चन पूछो यार. चलो, can we screen share doubts? Oh, you cannot screen share doubts. No. You can ask them on Discord, and the TAs would answer in your subgroup. You cannot. I mean, some TAs are sort of kind enough to do that. That's not the expectation from TAs, so they're not paid enough to screen share doubts with you. Can we work for companies remotely in US without visa? The short answer is yes. If you're working from India remotely and paying taxes in India, you should be fine. Is 0 to 100 good for beginners? Good question. And the answer is, even though we're taking things very slowly initially in the beginning, the goal is for it to be for complete beginners, but depends a lot on you more than me. So that's the only high level advice I would give. I'm 2.5. Oh, okay. Sir, I'm Okay, too many questions. Let's take a pause here. Take a pause here. Getting a little overwhelming with these questions. I have joined 0 to 1 cohort. I have one doubt. Will all the topics be covered till deep? I'm assuming your question is, will all the questions be covered in depth? Short answer is yes. That's generally our classes. If you go through the preview videos, we cover things. Yeah, cover less things, but cover them in depth. That will be short answer, yes. What does learning a framework mean? Should we remember everything? No, but good question. Learning a framework means if someone asks you to do a task in it, you should be able to do it. Even if you have to Google it and today ChatGPT it, it's fine as long as you're able to implement it. So you understand the concepts, you don't understand everything. You don't need to know every CSS tag, every React component, every HTML tag. No, you Google everything. Everyone Googles everything because how much can you fit in this small brain of yours? Mine also. कोर्स तेरे से वजह से पढ़ा नहीं है चलेगा पहले कुछ पढ़ हाँ तो यार वही है कि लास्ट टाइम आई शेयर्ड अ whimsical roadmap. It should be in the I can share it again, but the long story short is good to practice a bit, and this is the thing that I would urge you to practice in case you haven't done anything right now. I'll also post it in the description when the video goes offline eventually. Yeah, just go through that whimsical roadmap. It has the basics of JavaScript, HTML. It'll make your life much easier. So 0 to 100 I've joined and I'm a first year college student. Will I be able to get an internship? Yeah, first year you can. There's the guy who I had a podcast with. It's not yet released. It's in the 5-year after IT video. He is in school right now. He's not even in college. He got an internship at a startup. It's more about connecting with the founders there and telling them how you can solve a problem and underpricing because you're an intern, you don't know much. He knew very basics of Next.js, things like these, and he got, I don't think he was paid too much, but he got an internship some company in Pune. So long story short, you can. It's more about you finding that opportunity than how much because internships are sort of that. How do you join remote as a fresher? Every company asking 2 to 4 year experience. So yeah, good question. So recently I was referring someone from the cohort. He is in college, 3.5, 4 years, almost about to pass out. So when I was talking to the company, US Wali, so they asked me what's his experience. So I said, parent telling me he was in college. I said he's been doing full stack for a while, and I don't really know his experience completely. Well, I was trying to dodge the question basically कि वो ये ना पूछे कि she was expecting हाँ बताओ how many years of experience, कहाँ काम किया है and कौन सी फील्ड में काम किया है. I was like he's a pretty good solid engineer. This is their GitHub. This is how I usually तो मैंने उसको बोला कि I don't usually take existing experience or projects or experience as a metric. So she said, then what do you take as a metric? So I said GitHub. So I sent her his GitHub. Okay, देखो, this is their GitHub, and he makes very active contributions in AI companies. Look at his GitHub. Look at the contributions made here. So she was like, अच्छा ठीक है, I understand. So at least I'll talk to. And I think last Friday she had an interview with him, and this Friday is where he starts or something. I'm not exactly sure, but this Friday is I think when he starts. So he's still in college, not even completed his. I think he's final year, and I think salary range is also pretty good. He asks for good money. And the only question to sort of dodge here was, you don't have an experience. You have to portray it a certain way. You have to tell them that you are dumb. You don't know this. GitHub is the standard way to vet engineers. ये देखो मेरा GitHub. So that's the only question you'll have to be a little concerned around. And उसके बाद 2-week trials are the best thing. मैंने कई बार बोला है कि मैंने बोल दिया था कि 2-week trial उससे भी पूछ लिया था, उनको भी बता दिया था कि 2-week trial he will give. Throw the biggest problem challenge you have at it. Because you need to be very confident in your skills. बाकी you give 1 month trial also. Why will someone not hire you who's a startup founder here and really wants to get off the ground, and he has money to spare whatever $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. But उसको ये भी है कि यार इंडिया, I don't know, offshore country, time issues, time zone issues, accent issues, I don't know if he'll be good. तो ट्रायल देना ही पड़ेगा. मतलब दो ना ट्रायल, प्रॉब्लम क्या है? बट यू हैव टू बी कॉन्फिडेंट इन योर स्किल्स ऑल्सो कि इन दैट ट्रायल you do extremely well is how you get into that company. Someone asks, is unpaid internship in SF a good option? Unpaid internship anywhere is not a good option, but In SF is a big red flag. Some company in the US which usually they have a lot of money is not even paying you $10 an hour. So that's weird because McDonald's workers make here more. Sir, what are the ways to get connected to get a job? Good question. How do you connect to someone in the US? You have to find founders who have recently raised, or companies that are trying, someone who's working here in Google, Facebook, wherever, and is trying their side thing. Because यहाँ पे whoever is working here, India से भी जितने आते हैं मतलब 90% of the जनता is like, in that golden handcuff phase, which is के I make whatever 200, 300, 400K a year, but मेरे को 9 to 5 करना पड़ता है. Look at that guy, he started startup, he did so well. India में my batchmate started startup, he raised XYZ. So they're very fond of trying to start up. Most people won't जो यहाँ आए हैं, because number one visa issues. इतनी मेहनत करके इतना पैसा दे के यहाँ आए हैं तो they don't really want to give up their visa, and if they start up, unless they find the right visa, it will be very hard for them. So most people will keep working in the whatever FANG job they have here, but they always want to try startups. So that is one category of people you can approach कि भाई आप अपनी FANG नौकरी करो, you make 300, 400K, you give me whatever, at least $30K US dollars, $40 US dollars a year, and I'll be your side chick. I will do all of your work, and whatever startup you want to try, just throw your problem statement at me, I will solve it. So that is one category. Other than that, ये FANG वाली जनता को छोड़ के, also there are a lot of rich people here who want to get into tech, because suddenly everyone in tech made money. That is where VCs throw money. Wherever there is a hype cycle, every other person here not every other person, like a lot of rich people here will be like, oh, I will do my next startup and raise a lot of VC money. For that, they need offshore engineers, because they don't have a lot of money initially. They don't really care. They have to get an MVP up. That is the other category here. Lot of people I found initially have been these people only. I got into companies much later, who have proper interview questions and pay according to salary bands, and you have to pay taxes properly through India. That happened very late, after 1.5 years of working remotely at bunch of companies where very ad hoc stuff is happening. मुझे उस टाइम पे I was surprised कि this individual who is doing his masters or PhD in Stanford is giving me $5,000 a month. Why? Because I was solving some problem, helping him build his startup. Itna is good enough to get you off the ground. Don't go after big company initially. You can, frankly, लगने को लग भी सकती है उधर. But my first sort of company only had 3 people. That also happened after 6 months. For the first 6 months, I was basically working with very small clients. What does very small clients mean? It basically means an individual here who wants to get a startup up and running, and individuals have money, so they pay. That's the long story short of how you find a job initially. How do I know if I'm ready for a remote job? Very question. What does that even mean? Ready? Oh, okay. I guess that means how do I know if I have enough skills to help the client out? So, can you build websites? Pick up a few problem statements. I will give you a few. I want to make a game जहाँ पे kids can play with each other. So there are 2 people who can join the room and they can play like a Pictionary game together. That was one of my first clients. Can you build something like this? Can you design it decently well, because they don't have a designer? And then you're ready. Let's see. भैया 0 to 100 prerequisites क्या है? Prerequisites is just one, not really a prerequisite, but good to do is this whimsical roadmap that I just posted in chat. We'll also post it after the video in the description. It is also posted in the last live from San Francisco's description. So feel free to look at it. वहाँ पे basics of JavaScript have been mapped out. Try to solve a lot of problems that are present there. That would be my only advice. How do you manage traveling alone? Manage करने को क्या है भाई? 2 bag होते हैं. You pick them up, you go everywhere. There are cabs. You get off of the airport, you put your bag in a cab, you go to your accommodation, then the bag is there. And then you do your thing, then you come back. These are first world problems, my friend. There is no real problem in traveling, and nothing to manage really, if I'm being honest. Other than work, which is like you can manage it. Let's see. Mern on Django. Good question. I usually follow where the market is, which means what are companies using, which for me has always been Mern. Alrighty. Someone said bathroom की situation कैसे handle कर लेते हैं भाई, कुछ करके. Want to be a great front-end developer and work remotely, what do you suggest? Like roadmap. Great front-end developer, if you need to, being just good front-end engineer may be enough, but if you really want can make without much uncertainty, I need a job or whatever, it would be good for you to learn design. If you are 100% sure कि भाई मुझे तो full stack नहीं करना है, just want to do front end, then you have to get good at design. That would be my only advice. कि Figma, get comfortable with Figma, get comfortable with converting Figma designs into React components, understand what Storybook is, create a bunch of good front end libraries, put them out there, things like these. All right. Let's see. How can one document their project from concept or UML? Please make a video about it. Okay. I can try, most probably I won't make it because that's usually not how people are doing like coding here, like creating diagrams and then writing out. People are just writing code. So basically I've not done that many times, so I don't know what's the right process to it. I know big companies do it. Microsoft, when you first create diagrams, then you know have the high level design or some. यहाँ पे startups usually that does not happen for the longest time. You just code. So yeah. Okay, need to charge my laptop. 1 second, back in just a second. You can still keep talking, but oh, oopsie daisy. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see. Sir, if I graduated from BBA, can I transition into web development? हाँ भाई, क्या फ़र्क पड़ता है? Where did you graduate from? से basically it does not matter what your degree is, what your experience is, what your career gap is. You can, but your skills are all that matter, bro. If the current skills that I have, if I would have the same skills with a BBA degree, I would do the exact same. The question usually is, I might not have the same skills if I did a BBA degree, because a lot of things that I learned because someone from my college told me कि इस रास्ते पे जा, do this. Not even कि he taught me or whatever. He just told me कि शुरू में when I was deciding between filmmaking and coding, he said coding, करो coding, and you know that got me there. There are small things that you usually get from an IIT, not or whatever a BTech. कि everyone around you is doing something, but today, thankfully, there are a lot of influencers who tell you what to do. So, well, yeah, you just need direction, which is something that's slightly better in good colleges. Nothing else. If two people have the same skills, they can get the same job. All right. If someone experienced about 1 to 2 years, how can they approach remote jobs? So, well, yeah, now you are at that sweet spot of experience. You can say you're an experienced software developer. You can extrapolate 2 years of experience to 5 years of experience by adding some college internships, वगैरह there. So your experience bit is sorted. Whenever you have that conversation, you can be like, I have 5 years of experience, but everything else is still the same. They will still ask you the same questions of, what all have you worked on? Did you independently work on projects in the past? Can you show me one problem statement that you have? Are not really dependent on experience, but if you have experience, you have one less yellow flag to worry about, which is, I'm a complete fresher right now. But if you are a complete fresher, as I said in the beginning of the video, these days, everyone looks at GitHub. Here is my GitHub. What type of level of project need to build to get hired as a MERN developer? Fresher at 10 LPA. Beautiful question है कि नहीं? कि fresher 10 LPA basic expectations. What is 10 LPA? It's $12,000 a year. Question is, how much do you need to know to ask for that amount of money? Good question, very actionable question, and the answer is enough. If you can write a Next.js application, okay, look at dub.sh code base on GitHub. If you can understand it end to end, if you can create websites similar to that end to end on your own, you are sorted. I will personally hire you if you can make something like dub.sh. If you are a developer that understands all the code base there, it has a few, let me just share like a few technologies which, if you know all of these well, or more specifically, if you can go through the code base well, $12,000 a year, I will only hire you. Well, that is because I will so many extra projects I have to do. Abhi website बनाने में somewhere it will be of more value to me than paying you 10 LPA. I can extract more value from you by paying you 10 LPA. So if 10 LPA, which is $12,000 a year, is what you're looking for, this is a good. If you know all of this, you are sorted. Personally, I will only hire you. Next.js, TypeScript, Tailwind, अब इसको छोड़ दो. Redis, SQL और Postgres databases, Turbo Repo, Vercel deployments. That's it. Yeah, you need to know all of this well. ये नहीं कि ऊपर से. Basically, better just go through the code base of dub.sh. I'll just post the code. This is very professional code base. This is how I want my website to be built. And most websites can be built in this stack. So if you know this stack well, then yes, you're in a decent position to ask for that money. The problem that happens is when people get this good, then their expectation is more. तो वो match कभी नहीं हो पाता. To make that initial match happen, right, in a remote job, you usually have to be the person who takes the bad end of the deal and the person in the US gets a good end of the deal. Initially, if they are like, नहीं हम तो 10,000 देंगे, you're like, no, I will take $20,000 a year. Eventually, you have to concede because you know who wins in a negotiation? The person who's willing to stand up. And यहाँ पे US में जो बंदा हायर कर रहा है, he will be willing to stand up. यार तो वैसे ही रेड फ्लैग था, ये तो वैसे ही इंडिया से था, ये तो वैसे ही एक्सेंट इशू, टाइम जोन इशूज. तो यू हैव टू इनिशियली वो वहाँ जाओ, 1 महीना काम करो, 6 महीने काम करो, उनको अपने पे डिपेंडेंट कर दो. देन यू टेबल्स हैव टर्न, देन यू हैव ऑल द लेवरेज, है ना. इट्स लाइक you someone who does not like you gets into your life and makes you super dependent on you, and then you know you cannot leave them. ऐसा है. So you initially have to just get into the door, become one. Not very difficult to become a good engineer in one of these companies because Indians are, या जो भी, whoever is on the channel, even if it's a different ethnicity, you just have to be very hardworking. If you are extremely hardworking, putting in more than 40 hours, not traveling also, to you know your 40 hours are complete 40 hours of productive coding. It's very easy to differentiate yourself from your peers and make the company dependent on you. So once the company is dependent on you, then you leverage. Not initially you keep your head down because वही ना, तुम्हें connect होना है वहाँ US की कंपनी से. They don't want, why would they? Every time I talk, the question is the same कि time zone और more than that reliable नहीं होते, things like these. तो थोड़ा तुम्हें ही, तभी मैं कहता हूँ ट्रायल दो, aggressive ट्रायल दो, 2 week ट्रायल दे दो, get in the door. ये बोल रहा नहीं चल रहा है तो थोड़ा सा यू हैव टू कॉम्प्रोमाइज. आई एम नॉट सेइंग वर्क फॉर फ्री, आई एम सेइंग गिव 2 week ट्रायल्स एंड बी वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट इन योर स्किल्स कि यू कैन प्रोवाइड वैल्यू फॉर 2 weeks एंड देन क्या मस्त बाद में पैसा बाद में बनाओ भाई. शुरू में जस्ट फोकस ऑन गेटिंग अ स्टेप इन टू दैट डोर. आई एम मास्टर स्टूडेंट्स इन US enrolled, need to find job by May. देखो यार, मास्टर स्टूडेंट इन द US, दिस कोहोर्ट माइट नॉट बी फॉर यू. वाई? मास्टर्स के बाद जो इंटरव्यू जॉब्स होती हैं, दे आर यूजुअली दिस फैंग इंटरव्यूज, दे रिक्वायर DSA, दे डोंट रिक्वायर एनी ऑफ दिस नॉलेज. तो स्ट्रॉन्ग एडवाइस टू यू इफ यू आर इन योर मास्टर्स एंड इफ यू आर लुकिंग फॉर अ जॉब कि मुझे मई तक नौकरी चाहिए, गेट अ DSA कोर्स. दैट विल बी, और वट एवर, फोकस ऑन DSA. That will be much more beneficial to you because you are going to have FANG interviews hopefully by then if the market recovers. So that is what you need to prepare for. If you spend this much money, this is more for India people remotely looking for jobs. Development makes much more sense than DSA because those companies don't ask for DSA. If you are here for masters, companies will ask DSA only because you'll go to the standard route of FANG. So focus on DSA. Hey Harkiyat, the basics of JS is more than enough to join the cohort. In fact, in the first 1-2 classes, we'll be going through JS again and coding, getting into the groove of writing JavaScript code. But good for you to code yourself. So JavaScript code karo, hai na? How can these companies usually require you to be on site? There are good algorithmic trading companies in India now. A lot of my juniors are working there. Noida, Delhi mein batheri hain. Jaise Tower Research is one of them, but like there are a bunch of smaller as in they're not well known, but they're good hedge funds or whatever trading companies in India. नाम भूल रहा हूँ, like a few good ones. तो वो it'll just be on site. It won't be remote job usually. I haven't seen any friend of mine, even like I had to go to Japan because all the training things were happening there. So usually trading teams are very close knit. They want to keep the person for 1,000 reasons. Security reasons की वजह से भी you have different laptops, you have tons of different things. So remotely hard to find that job. Currently working in Java developers. Should I join 0 to 1, 0 to 100? Please answer. 0 to 1 कर लो. If you only know Java, if you don't know JavaScript, 1 to 100 will be a little overwhelming. तो 0 to 100 ही ले लो मेरे हिसाब से. तो Harkiyat, Golang good for web dev. Not bad is what I will say. Good is very subjective. Good क्या होता है? Good वो होता है जिसमें तुम्हें नौकरी, the place where you found the opportunity, whatever is the tech stack, there is good because that is what you have to work on. That is what you're going to get questioned on. एंड वहाँ पे तो देर इज़ थोड़ा वही कि तुक्का मार के व्हाट इज़ द मोस्ट पॉपुलर वन कि इफ़ आई पिक अ रैंडम ओपन सोर्स प्रोजेक्ट और अ रैंडम कंपनी, व्हाट इज़ द स्टैक गोइंग टू बी इन? आंसर अभी इज मन. Why is her the answer man or whatever backend के लिए Node.js? The answer is backend के लिए Node.js because that's easier to write. A lot of these are startups that have very quickly been built and ended up raising or doing well. So their backend is in Node. Their backend is usually not in Go. But wait, if there are specific companies Go में है, then of course knowing Go is good. So yeah, the language that you have to pick is the language that's widely used, and even Django stack and Merge stack are the ones that are most widely used. Alright, which platform you will use in Cohort? Oh, well, strong suggestion to move to Linux or Mac. ऐसा नहीं है कि विंडोज़ में काम नहीं चल पाएगा. विंडोज़ में लोगों की हालत ख़राब होती है जब कुछ कुछ प्रोग्राम्स हमें मतलब इन द लास्ट कोहोर्ट द आई हैव सीन इज फ्यू टाइम्स कि सम पर्सन इज फेसिंग इशूज़ एंड व्हाट इज़ द इशू कि वो विंडोज़ पे है एंड उसके बाद इट्स सो हार्ड टू डीबग फॉर अ टीए बिकॉज ऑल टीएज आर ऑन एन उबुंटू मशीन तो और व्हाटएवर लिनक्स मशीन. तो बेसिक एडवाइस इज़ कि इफ़ यू कैन यू हैव 10 more days, मूव टू डू अ डुअल बूट, ऐड लिनक्स टू योर मशीन. करने को काम चला लोगे तुम विंडोज़ में, बट इफ़ यू हैव 10 days, स्पेंड सम टाइम एंड install some version of Linux. What to do for job for getting a quant developer? तो वही यार, अब quant developer इंडिया में slightly easier. रिमोट जॉब मत करना उधर वहाँ ज़्यादा फिर. एंड इंडिया में quant, खैर if you want to be just a quant, even Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan have quant roles. A lot of my batchmates work there. तो you can go down that route. You don't have to low latency trading में तो hedge fund में घुसूंगा. You can get into the standard GS JP Morgan. The problem is a lot of times these companies only hire for strat roles in like from big colleges. I don't know if that's still true. Used to be true in my time कि हाँ the people who are in quant roles are usually from good colleges. तो बस वही ध्यान रखना है. बाकी easier to get into focus on the JP Morgans, the Wells Fargos, the Goldman Sachs versus कि तो टावर रिसर्च में जाना है. Let's see, Web3 versus AI. यार दोनों ही बढ़िया आजकल तो मतलब Web3 इज ऑल्सो रिपिंग थैंकफुली. तो थिंग्स आर गोइंग अप. व्हेन थिंग्स गो अप फंडिंग गोज अप, जॉब्स गो अप. तो इस टाइम पे तो इट्स गेटिंग मतलब थोड़ा सैचुरेशन एआई में कम. वर्ड सैचुरेशन मीन कि वो यूफोरिया हैज़ गॉन. फर्स्ट 6 months तो वो चैट जीपीटी आ गया. व्हाट इज दिस न्यू इनोवेशन? नाउ इट्स लाइक ठीक है, एवरीवनस कंफर्टेबल विद द इनोवेशन एंड फंड्स हैव बीन रेज्ड, जॉब्स हैव बीन मेड. तो एट दिस पॉइंट इफ समथिंग न्यू, समथिंग एक्साइटिंग कम्स इन क्रिप्टो, that will be the point to get in there. AI will be here to stay because of like very clear product market fits. तो वही है मतलब pick and choose. AI is probably a safer bet than Web3 because Web3 is always a little speculative. Harder to find good use cases there. There are only 2-3 actual use cases in Web3. बाकी सब तो थोड़ा फैड ही होता है. तो what are those 2-3 use cases? हकीरत, go to my recent Web3 roadmap जो तुम देखते नहीं हो पढ़ाई वाली वीडियो. There is a recent last 8-10 videos में there should be a Web3 roadmap where I cover कि what are good use cases, what are bad use cases, what are scams in crypto. तो वहाँ पे जो good use cases वाला part है, those are the good companies to target. TLDR is exchanges, wallets, RPC providers, दो चार और थे. Go to the video, you'll find out what are the good use cases, then try to target them. Then targeting random companies because crypto easy to get scammed, easy to get into a company that's scamming other people. So yeah, I'm interning in a US based startup for a front end role with a stipend of $500 a month. Should I negotiate when I join full time? I mean, yes, $500 a month when you join full time as a full time employee and not an intern. May you do whatever you want. Yeah, if you want to get a step into the door, $500 is pretty good. Once your internship season is over and you have impressed them during your internship season, आप 500 से 2000 तो जा सकते हो. द गुड थिंग इज इनिशियली दिस हाइक्स आर वेरी हाई अंटिल यू रीच 100K. उसके बाद हाइक्स आर अ लिटिल कॉशियस. उसके बाद हाइक्स के लिए वो यू हैव टू स्विच कंपनीज. बट अंटिल यू रीच 100K, 80K, 90K, योर हाइक्स आर वेरी क्विक. सो योर यू शुड एटलीस्ट डू $20K or $24K. दैट्स $2,000 a month. Yeah, at the very least you can do that if you have impressed them. Siddharth Chopra. Beginner can do 0 to 100. So yeah, it's less about beginner. A lot of people have never coded, but on day 0 get it. A lot of people have done, I did JavaScript, HTML, CSS. Again did HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then, back to 0. And then still get over. A lot of people are not able to go beyond a point. Basically, I can keep in 0 to 100, keep doing HTML and CSS for 2 months. And then I'm sure everyone will be comfortable. But Is that the right way to learn? No. Why? Because that's beginner's hell. Very small things we're able to doing. Why? Because that is something everyone understands. That's probably not the right way to learn, especially if you want to go aggressive and get jobs and get into the industry. So for that, yes, there will be a point after which we not really pick up the pace, but we start to pick up slightly advanced concepts. What do I mean by advanced concepts? For actually building a project rather than building JavaScript projects, writing JavaScript programs in LeetCode. So initially there will be that. Eventually there will be some. At some point you have to make that move. At some point it has to get overwhelming, else you're not learning. If it's not getting overwhelming, so you already know this very simple stuff, right? Then everyone will know it. At some point it needs to get overwhelming for you to feel like हाँ कुछ नया सीखा. तो it will, but it's supposed to. पिछले कोर्ट में जितने भी लोग हैं सबसे पूछो कि हाँ भाई it was overwhelming at some points. You had to put in the work at some points. That is how you will learn. If you have copying me end to end, then nothing you will learn. Please plan meetup in Chandigarh. Yes, I will do a poll, and if there are 30 people, then we can do it. Because I might be in Chandigarh soon. कुछ काम है वहाँ पे. For a job. This cohort will help you get the skills. Job depends on you. Said this many times. What does that mean? Okay, what do you mean job depends on me? It means it's more about opportunity connect. It's more about how comfortable you are. So yeah, this channel we only talk about one sort of jobs, right? As I said, I'm very disconnected from the whole FANG ecosystem. I have no idea how to get in there. And usually the way to get there is DSA. What do we talk about on this channel? We talk about remote jobs, all these things. तो वहाँ पे it's more about रास्ता तुम्हारा कहाँ से खुल गया. अब मैं यहाँ आ रखा हूँ तो I met a bunch of companies, was able to refer a few people from the code because I am here, I'm finding people who desperately need developers. You need to find such people. It's more about that, less about skills beyond a point. Because यार skills में तुम थोड़ा गंदा कोड लिख लो. Don't write TypeScript code, write JavaScript code. यहाँ के फाउंडर को थोड़ी समझ आ रहा है कोड. Most founders here are non-technical. They want to find someone जल्दी से in less amount of money gives them an MVP. So you can write bad code. So along with being a good developer, of course you can build solid websites. You also need that opportunity connect. That depends a lot on you. कितने हाथ पैर मार रहे हो, कितना, how much are you putting your work out here? Who are the people I referred? Person number 1 who was aggressively taking classes in our first cohort. कि नहीं, I will take class, I will take this extra class, I will do this, I will do that. Answering other people's questions. Person number 2, person who tags me every other week on Twitter कि I build this project. Every bounty I give, he does it. He is putting himself out there. वेरी बिजी. मेरे को टाइम नहीं लगता, मेरे को नाम नहीं आ जाते पीपल हु टैग मी. बट अब कोई बंदा अग्रेसिवली मुझे टैग भी कर रहा है. नंबर 1. नंबर 2, गुड प्रोजेक्ट्स में टैग कर रहा है. व्हाट आर गुड प्रोजेक्ट्स? सो दिस गाय मेड, व्हेन यू आर ऑन यूट्यूब, यू कैन पुट लाइक सेगमेंट्स ऑन अ वीडियो, राइट? कि हाँ, part 1 में this is happening, part 2 में this is happening. I wanted this for the cohort. He built that. Of course that will catch my eye, right? कि हाँ, this person built this specific thing that I really needed, and I referred him eventually. So you have to get into the eye of recruiters, of not really recruiters, like frankly founders, CTOs, and the best way to do it is put your work out there. I've been alright. Okay, so let's take a few more questions, then let's do some heart to heart, and then I'll be off. What technology should I learn front end as a front engineer? React. I'm going to do it like rapid fire. Going to 0 from 1 to 100, can I crack good internships, good semesters? If you do everything, learn everything well, you can start to approach companies and give them your services. Some will pay more, some will pay less, depends on how much you're willing to negotiate initially and how good you are. Will cohort cover at 11 year? 7 year. A11 why? I think you're talking about never mind. I am currently 6 months. Can you repeat that question? Someone who asked A11Y. I think I know what you're asking for. But I think there's a typo in your question. Currently working in DevOps, have 10 years of experience. How can I get value from Cohort 2 on JavaScript? Cohort 2 is less about JavaScript. It's more about system design. It's more about DevOps. You don't really need JavaScript there, although the few projects that we'll be deploying or writing will be in JavaScript. So we will do system design, then we'll actually code the thing, right? So when we code the thing, we'll be coding it in JavaScript. That's the only JavaScript experience that you need. Communication skill help, please. Yes. Good question. Big answer, yes. You have to be able to communicate well. What does that mean? कि उनको तुम्हारी इंग्लिश समझ आए तो मैं उनकी समझ. Accent no one cares about. But they should be able to understand you without asking you to repeat. You should be able to understand them without asking them to repeat. If not, then there is a problem. I'm on a business visa. I'm not on an H1B visa. Harkiyat, my first year CSC. How can I divide time in learning full stack? College and CGPA is important. The long story short here is do what's important at the moment. When your college is here, then you have to exam is here focused on exam, ICPC is here focused on DSA, GSOC is here focused on development. Needs to be very goal driven. Tier 3 college, product based company possible. Yes, possible. The question is, BCSA is product based company possible? Of course it is possible. Some person has done it, right? So it is possible, but the question is, will you get it? And for that, like, are you putting in the work? Can two? No. I mean, short answer is no. Two people cannot share the course, will get logged out, and only one person will have the live session, one person will have the Discord access. So please don't do that. I think we've priced it pretty humbly. Okay, तो हो गया. How can one contribute to AI companies if I know only the month stack? Good question. जो लोग अभी कर रहे हैं from the cohort, otherwise are finding JavaScript libraries. So if there is an open source Python project, there is a sibling JavaScript project, and contributing to the JavaScript project. Does not require MERN exactly. Is not an HTTP server. They're just JavaScript libraries, and for that, knowing JS is enough. Can you give some advice about AI ML jobs in the US? Video आ रही है इस पे. But long story short, मैं टेल देता हूँ कि 2 types of jobs. One is research. I want ML engineer. I want full PhD. Less in number. Pay very well. $1 million. OpenAI researcher. Number 2, startup has raised money, is building something, needs scrappy developer who, even if does not know any machine learning, it's fine. They will teach on the job, but needs to be really good at full stack. Really good full stack engineer that they will train in house and make, teach them the right things you need to know for the AI bits, is the targetable market. The other market is you are a good researcher, all that jazz. वो थोड़ा मुश्किल मार्केट, उसके लिए मास्टर्स करने आओ. There is no job assistance or guidance. Guidance क्या होता है? There is a master class जहाँ पे I just tell कि this is how I get jobs, this is how I approach people, these are the people I approach, I show the messages, I show the money I make, I showed how I negotiated things like these. That is there. That will always be there. That I'm always open to. That I put on YouTube as well. This is how I got this job. Sometimes it's open source, sometimes it's cold outreach, sometimes it's just, network, I guess. Sometimes it's, I know a niche technology really well. I know कि इस कंपनी को तो चाहिए ही होंगे सीक्रेट डेवलपर. गिविंग अ फ्यू एग्जांपल्स. बुल रन में दिस वाज WebRTC. अभी this is whoever knows GPT APIs well, or can understand how to fine tune models, or can build agents, things like these. Whoever knows this, these people are less in number. These companies, a lot of companies are building this thing only. Silicon Valley is filled with startups trying to build the same thing. There are 20 startups working on the same thing because AI में everyone can see that this is going to be big market. Everyone's backing their founders. So if you know one technology well that all 20 of these startups need, ये इतना आसान होता है ना कि one job लो, then इनको negotiate करके वो job लो, इनको negotiate करके वो job लो. If you go back to my video where I talk about my 4CR offer and how I cracked it, technology that everyone needs and no one is coding. तो that is high paying वाला roadmap ही जो मैं बात कर रहा हूँ. But इस टाइम पे AI is that. Very clearly AI is that. कि मतलब everyone has raised, a lot of people don't have technical expertise and need it. Everyone's building the same thing. You need to be good at that same thing. What is that same thing, Harkirat? It is how to build agent protocols is one. How to interact with GPT APIs to do a bunch of things. How to fine tune models. Yeah, that's the high level of jobs that I'm seeing. Everyone's building around this. Almost everyone is using GPT as a wrapper. सर कॉलेज में आ रहे हैं कभी आपको देखते, मुश्किल ही है यार, मैंने करता नहीं हूँ सेमिनार वगैरह. व्हाट इज़ योर नेटवर्थ राइट नाउ? वेरी गुड क्वेश्चन. आई एम नॉट आंसरिंग. आई कैन टेल यू माई क्रिप्टो नेटवर्थ बिकॉज इट्स डूइंग प्रीटी वेल नाउ. माई क्रिप्टो नेटवर्थ इज फाइनली पॉजिटिव इज ऑल आई कैन से. आई वाज इन नेगेटिव फॉर द लॉन्गेस्ट टाइम, बट Solana did a 3x in the last few weeks. Let me actually look at it. I have a dashboard here. So I'm finally positive on my crypto investments, which feels pretty good if I'm being honest, because I was down almost 100k US, and now it's positive. It's almost 400k आसपास अभी. Just the crypto वाला. Sir, how much hours to devote for a dev role first year GSOC? For a dev, this is a good thing you put on your question. Focus on GSOC. Don't focus on anything else. Focus on one organization, go very deep in it, and that's how you will learn. Tell me the demand of MERN. यार ये मुझे कैसे पता होगा बैठ के, but मैं बता देता हूँ कि most companies are using it. तो वही. All right. 3 more questions I will take. Then let's talk a little bit random, especially for cohort people, and a little bit about what is going to come on the channel. As you can see, only preview videos are coming, and then what will happen after the preview videos ends, and then let's go from there. Do you know about? Never mind. I want to find some good questions here. Will TAs be available for the first cohort even though the course is over? Yes, the TAs in the first cohort are present till December end. But yeah, first, thoda generic question, guys. Some generic question that can benefit everyone. I worked with my friends freelancing, where worked at backend using Node.js, and I decided to prepare for Gate. But I want to restart my career again. What should I do? Just do the same thing you were doing. Freelance, underprice yourself, help people build products, learn again, get into the groove, and then eventually price yourself up. What's your view on college dropouts getting jobs, being well skilled at programming, and competent with the topics included in Cohort 2.0? So the short answer is, यार, so many people, literally so, मतलब यार देखो, सबकी अपनी niches होती हैं, सब अपने अपने उसमें होते हैं, bubble में. IIT people are there in their own bubble. Tier 2 college में, whatever college you're on, own bubble. Tier 3 college, own bubble. Everyone is in that bubble, in some bubble. The bubble that I'm in, the Web3 wala bubble. So many people in colleges, so many people in schools doing well, coding well, writing good products. मैं उनको code पढ़ता हूँ. They're able to understand trust code as well. I've brought a few of these people on my channel on when I was talking about the Solana hackathons. Whoever those people are, go to my video where I said Solana hackathon made a lot of money. In the last 2 months I made that video. 2 people I interviewed. Both of them, one was in college, one had recently joined college, was basically in school up until a year ago. So it is very clear to me, at least, that degrees would not matter at all. Experience will matter. Ki, even if you are 18 right now and you just about to join your college, but you have 2 years of experience, you will get hired. At a very high price point, it's harder to get hired without experience, without college or whatever. But at the mediocre price point, 50K, 30K, 80K US dollars, no one asks for a degree. Uske baad, someone might. If you want to get into OpenAI as a researcher, of course you will need some credentials, some masters or PhD. But most good jobs, most very good jobs, what do I mean very good jobs? That pay very well. What do I mean pay very well? 30K, 50K US dollars. Will not care about anything. If you're in school, if you're in college, does not matter. बिल्कुल भी नहीं. मैं ये किसी भी उससे नहीं कह रहा हूँ. मैं एक purely experience से कह रहा हूँ, because the niche that I'm in these days, I see these people, who are also good. This is not a fact. This is not कि Web3 में तो बच्चे होते हैं. No, they're good people. They write good code, and ये इतनी चीज़ मिसिंग हो जाती है ना. मतलब देखो, जो स्टैंडर्ड जनता होती है ना, द स्टैंडर्ड व्हाट डू आई स्टैंडर्ड जनता, IIT people, tier 2, tier 3 college, this is one path, and now maybe 2 paths. One path was DSA, now the second path is still remote job, whatever. There are some small niches जहाँ पे these college people are present. कोई जा ही नहीं रहा वहाँ. No one is seeing Web3 as an industry for whatever reason. I don't know if because defamed or whatever. मतलब people are not interviewing. तुम्हें क्या फर्क पड़ता है industry scam ही है कि नहीं? There are jobs, right? There are good jobs, people making money. Why not? Even if it's for a year, even if for 6 months, कंपनी बंद हो जाएगी, स्कैम हो जाएगा, चला जाएगा, तुम्हें क्या है भाई? तुम्हारा 6 महीने पैसा बन गया ना, तुम चिल करो, तुम आगे निकल जाओ, दूसरी नौकरी कर लेना. तो मैं बार बार कहता हूँ कि ऐसी नीशेस ढूंढो. बच्चे कर रहे हैं, बहुत लोग कर रहे हैं, बस वो ये कि पता नहीं होता लोगों को. मैं इतने लोगों से मिलता हूँ, मुझे पता चलता है कि किसका है, और ये यहाँ घूम रहा है, US घूम रहा है, ऑफ साइड कर रहा है, यूरोप घूम रहा है, ईस्ट डेनवर में घूम रहा है, जहाँ भी घूम रहा है, मतलब. एंड वो मैं सोचता मैं तो किसका था, मैं तो कुछ नहीं कर रहा था. क्यों? क्योंकि मैं जिस नीच में था, विच वॉज IIT, सब गोल्डमैन के पीछे, सब माइक्रोसॉफ्ट, सब अमेजॉन के पीछे लगे हुए थे, मैं भी लगा हुआ था. तो इससे थोड़ा सा आगे बढ़ो. पैसा कहाँ होता है? पैसा वहाँ होता है जहाँ लोग नहीं पहुँचे. अब DSA में तो लोग बहुत पहुँच गए हैं, पैसा भी अच्छा है. मैं ये कभी नहीं कहता बुरा है वहाँ, पर मेरी नज़र कहाँ होती है हमेशा? मेरी नॉट इज़ द नेक्स्ट थिंग जहाँ पे कोई नहीं है, मैं वहाँ जाता हूँ, है ना. तो तुम भी वहीं जाओ, हर की सब वहीं जाएंगे तो वो भी बंद बढ़ जाएगा. बात बिल्कुल सही है तुम्हारी. तुम कुछ और ढूंढो, फाइंड समथिंग एल्स, वेयर देयर आरंट अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल, and focus there. What was that a few years ago? FANG. What was that up until a year ago or maybe 6 months ago? It was remote jobs. No one was there. Now everyone's trying open source, everyone's getting to remote job. What is the next thing? वही जो मैं कर रहा हूँ बताऊँगा थोड़ी, तुम लोग भी पहुँच जाओगे. नहीं, मतलब ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. AI है वो काफ़ी क्लियरली कि नेक्स्ट थिंग इज गोइंग टू बी AI. तो वहाँ पे अभी अपॉर्चुनिटीज आर मोर, टैलेंट इज लेस. इंग्लिश कैप्शन, ग्रेट क्वेश्चन, प्रवीण कुमार दास. Mail at 100xdevs.com. We will give you access. Like pay for it, we will give you access. We're not able to add captions, we'll refund. मैं personally ही add कर रहा हूँ वो. मैंने बना दिया पूरा system. Most probably it will be there. Basically, most probably 99% we will have captions. So buy it. In case there aren't captions, just mail and we'll refund. I've personally trying my best to add those. Also, you should check the quality of the captions because they're auto generated. So if it's not good, also feel free to ask for a refund. I've been doing see, DevOps need for full stack, not technically needed, but वही है, needed तो कुछ नहीं है भाई. मतलब तुम्हारी जॉब में तुम 40 आवर्स में बहुत छोटे पार्ट ऑफ द कोड बेस में ही काम करते हो. यू ओनली वर्क एट फ्रंट एंड बैक एंड और यू नो सम पार्ट ऑफ फ्रंट एंड बैक एंड. बट इज इट गुड फॉर यू टू नो एवरीथिंग? यस. Will you be the differentiated engineer if you know everything? Yes. So why is the question always के कितना चाहिए DevOps में कर लूँ फॉर फुल स्टैक, या कितना चाहिए AI, कितना चाहिए फुल स्टैक फॉर AI, या कितना चाहिए फुल स्टैक फॉर जॉब? अरे तुम पूरा करो ना यार, एंड टू एंड. तुम दिस शुड बी योर डे. What should be your day? Your day should be coding all day. अब तुम कितनी ही कोडिंग सीखोगे, एक मर्ज स्टैक कितना ही सीखोगे? Beyond the point, you will have to learn DevOps, right? Yeah, whatever. Very small subset of things to learn, thankfully, to build websites today. तो तुम आगे बढ़ो. Focus on like learn more and more. No, don't ask this question of कितना चाहिए. बहुत सारा चाहिए, कोई अंत नहीं जितना चाहिए. Who is the senior engineer? Senior engineer knows everything. मेरा इंटरव्यू हुआ था, भाई ने कोई कोना ही नहीं छोड़ा. लिटरली फ्रंट एंड बैक एंड मॉनिटरिंग डेवॉप्स सिस्टम डिज़ाइन के भी एकदम अंदर घुस गया और एक एक चीज़ पूछी, क्योंकि ही हैड 20 years ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस, ही वाज डूइंग इट फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम, ही न्यू अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स. एक सवाल उसने पूछा, तुम मतलब यू विल मेरा दिमाग घूम गया कि स्टैंडर्ड क्वेश्चन होता है कि यू नो डेटाबेस में क्वेरीज को फास्ट कैसे करोगे? आंसर होता है इंडेक्सिंग. मैंने कहा इस की पे इंडेक्स डाल दूंगा. उसने लिटरली कहा ये की तो पब्लिक की होगी, इस पर इंडेक्स नहीं चलेगा. मुझे पता नहीं था क्यों, उसका कुछ रीज़न होता है, बता दूंगा मैं. सिस्टम डिजाइन मैंने अलग से रखा हुआ है सवाल, इसलिए क्योंकि मेरे को वो उस इंटरव्यू के दौरान पता चला था. बट लॉन्ग स्टोरी शॉर्ट इज, इफ यू हैव अ पब्लिक की जो एड्रेस होता है तुम्हारे क्रिप्टो का, उसको तुम अगर एक टेबल में स्टोर कर रहे हो, उस पर इंडेक्स अच्छे से नहीं चलता. क्यों नहीं चलता? क्योंकि B+ ट्रीज होते हैं जिनके बेस पे छोड़ो यार, मैं बताऊंगा ये चीज़. मतलब ऐसी ऐसी छोटी छोटी चीज़ होती है जो एक्सपीरियंस आती है. तुम फोकस करो ना, मैं थोड़ा लंबा चला गया यहाँ पे, कोई नहीं, वापस आ जाते हैं. इज स्विचिंग टू वन लैंग्वेज टू अनदर गुड आइडिया और बैड? इनिशियली बैड. एक में डीप जाओ, उसमें नौकरी ढूंढो, इवेंचुअली यू कैन कॉन्टेक्ट स्विच. इनिशियली मत करो, क्योंकि तुम थोड़ा सा सीखोगे नोड, यू विल बी लाइक आई नो नोड, आई विल मूव टू जावा. थोड़ा सा सीखोगे जावा, आई नो जावा, आई विल मूव टू अनदर थिंग. बट डू यू रियली नो इट? कैन यू रियली गेट अ जॉब इन इट? नो. तो गो डीप इन वन इनिशियली, इवेंचुअली यू कैन कॉन्टेक्ट स्विच. हाउ मच आवर्स टू स्पेंड फॉर कोहोर्ट 2? गुड क्वेश्चन. 4 to 5 hours on the weekend, 10 hours during the weekdays is good. इसके बियॉन्ड आपको जितना जाना चाहो, बट दिस इज गुड. दिस इज प्रॉब्ली बेयर मिनिमम कि 5 hours on the weekends, 5 to 10 hours on the weekdays is bare minimum. जो भी पढ़ाया उसको रिवाइज करो. इनिशियली माइट बी लिटिल लेस, इवेंचुअली माइट बी मोर एज वी लर्न मोर एडवांस थिंग्स, बट इतना तो बेयर मिनिमम लगा के चलो. गोल क्या है? इनिशियली 0 to 1 में गोल है तुम्हें GSOC लगानी है बस, और कोई गोल नहीं है. तुम्हारा एक अर्जुन की आंख होनी चाहिए ड्यूरिंग द फर्स्ट 0 to 1 cohort, which is from December to January. I need to gain enough skills to be able to look at projects and start contributing to them. उसके बाद फेब में aggressively contribute to them. अब होता नहीं होता वो देखा जाएगा, but that is the goal. Keep the cohort very goal oriented. First cohort का पार्ट ही होना चाहिए 0 to 1 का. 1 to 100 is a little anyways advanced thing. उसमें hard to find a goal, but there the goal is, you know, find a remote job. But like there are 10 different factors that come in finding a remote job. GSOC is right there. There is an application everyone has to fill. They have to choose 1,000 people. So keep that goal in mind and prepare accordingly. तो अब तुम्हें GSOC चाहिए तो उसके लिए कितना, how many hours are you willing to put in for a GSOC? That depends on you. All right. There will be recorded sessions on the like dashboard after the class happens. Will remote job work culture end in the future? तो यार देखो, what is remote job? Why did it come into the picture? ये समझो. It came into the picture because of a need. The need was कि people needed solid engineers. People realized everyone is working from home during COVID. People were like, India से hire करूँ, कहीं और से hire करूँ, does not matter. Everyone's working from home. Has that changed now? Sort of yes. Mostly no. No one is going to offices here in the US. Even though companies have gotten offices, completely empty, एकदम खाली पड़े. मैंने आंखों के सामने देखा. Look at real estate prices in San Francisco, especially commercial real estate prices. मैं offices में जा के आया हूँ. In the last 3 weeks, I went to Kata office. I went to companies that are Series B, Series C, Series D, seed, खाली offices. पूरा इतना बड़ा डेस्क सेटअप लगा रखा है. एटलीस्ट 100 डेस्क पड़े हैं, 100 सीटें पड़ी हैं, एक बंदा नहीं बैठा. तो everyone's working remotely only. क्वेश्चन दिस माइट बी कि हाँ, विल कंपनीज भी लाइक हम रिमोटली हायर करेंगे बट फ्रॉम इंडिया, बट ओनली फ्रॉम द US? तो उसमें द आंसर इज, कंपनी जो भी कहे, अंत में अगर कंपनी को सस्ता इंजीनियर मिल रहा होगा इंडिया में जो रिमोटली काम कर रहा है, और महंगा इंजीनियर मिल रहा होगा जो US में काम कर रहा है, दे वुड नॉट माइंड एटलीस्ट ट्राइंग यू आउट उसके बाद यू हैव टू मेक श्योर यू आर गिविंग मोर वैल्यू दैन द यूएस काउंटर पार्ट, देन दे विल बी लाइक आ जाओ. उसके बाद यू हैव टू बी लाइक आई एम गिविंग वैल्यू मोर देन यूएस काउंटर पार्ट, तो मुझे उतना पैसा दो. ये ट्रेजेक्ट्री ऑफ वो रहना चाहिए. इनिशियली यू हैव टू गेट योर foot in the door, and I feel if you provide the same value and considering everyone's anyways working remotely, it should be fine. ओके 5 more minutes है, फिर अपन करते हैं एंड. चैट पे हम देखना कर देंगे बंद. मेरे को बस ये बोलना था कि देखो मैं अब आ रहा हूँ थोड़े दिन में इंडिया. मेरे प्री रिक्विजिट कोई नहीं है कोर्ट के लिए, बट जावास्क्रिप्ट कर लो ड्यूरिंग द कोहोर्ट, आगे बढ़ो. मैं कोशिश करूंगा कि एवरी क्लास दैट इज कमिंग आई पोस्ट अप फ्रंट कि वी आर गोइंग टू लर्न दिस इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास. Prepare it before the next class to not get overwhelmed. Run in front of the class. Whatever I am about to teach, learn it yourself before the class starts. Ugly 6 months be very aggressive, then chill whatever. But the only way to learn in tech is getting to that one cycle. Why was I not able to learn AI very well? Because क्या bro, क्या bro. कर रहे हो, एक बार आ रहे हो, पैसा दे के आ रहे हो, तो प्लीज फोकस ऑन लॉट ऑन इट, यू नो, फॉर द नेक्स्ट 5 months. बी वेरी अग्रेसिव, देन चिल. आफ्टर GSOC you can take a break, but until GSOC be very aggressive. Until GSOC comes, you have an end goal, you literally have everything right in front of you, like a literal way to make money and put something big on your resume. So for the next 3 months be very aggressive in learning, be very aggressive in contributing, be very very aggressive in building projects. Uske baad you can take a break. That would be my only last minute advice to whoever who has joined. And whoever has not joined, I've said this multiple times, don't be pressured into buying it. There is content on YouTube, there will be other channels, there will be my channel. If you want to do it, you can do it without a cohort as well. No one, only 10% might depend on a cohort, 90% totally depends on you irrespective of where you are. And ज्ञान देने तो मैं YouTube पे भी आ जाता हूँ, तो don't get pressured. And you know, either way, if you're cohort or not, GSOC is one of the best internships you can do, especially in college. Literally probably the best internship you can do in college. बाद में भी अब तो now तो everyone can apply, even experienced people can apply. So good thing to put on your resume, good thing to do like a mini remote job internship. GSOC is basically that, because that's how you work in a remote job. So good end goal by the end of it, focus on that. And lastly, आ रही हैं 1-2 वीडियोज़ अब इसके बाद, जहाँ पे थोड़ा we'll talk about the future of the channel and what I am learning and what we will be learning here. And full stack will go full steam in the cohort. We will discuss more details on 2nd of December is when the cohort starts. Thank you everyone for joining. I should head out. We are putting up a sign in Times Square today. तभी मैं जा रहा हूँ वहीं. It's very easy to do. It's pretty cheap. It's $40. $40 में you can put up, like, hire the biggest sign here on Times Square. I'm going to put, हाँ चंडीगढ़ मीटअप हो जाएगा भाई, कर लेंगे. अगर बंदे आ जाएँ तो मैं कर लेंगे. तो अभी मैं वहाँ जा रहा हूँ, गोइंग टू शूट अ वीडियो. एंड थैंक यू फॉर ज्वाइनिंग. होप टू सी यू इन द कोहोर्ट. आई एम सुपर पम्प्ड. फाइनली टुक अ ब्रेक ऑल्सो. अब पिछले 21-22 वीक से लाइव हो रही थी, अब जाके थोड़ा वीकेंड्स मेरे चिल हुए हैं, तो मैं अभी थोड़ा घूम लूँ 2-3 दिन, उसके बाद तो कोहोर्ट स्टार्ट हो ही रहा है. I will see you guys back in India. Sorry, I have to drop off right now because of few things planned today. Back in India in like 2 days or so. कुछ काम है मुझे. I will see you guys from there. Sorry for the questions I was not able to answer. साइन मतलब यार ये टाइम स्क्वायर होता है ना, यहाँ पे साइन होता है. पीपल पुट ऑन लिंक्डइन के, वो टाइम स्क्वायर पे मेरी फोटो आ गई, दैट थिंग. वहाँ पे मैं डाल रहा हूँ ट्वीट्स सारे पिछले वाले कोहोर्ट के लोगों के ऑन टाइम स्क्वायर 10 सेकेंड के लिए. इट्स आ जाएगी वीडियो, तुम देख लेना, कुछ नहीं है, मतलब फैड ही है वो. कूल, सही है भाई. सेम क्वेश्चंस अगेन, तो आई एम गोइंग टू ड्रॉप ऑफ. 1 hour गुड, वेरी नाइस लाइव स्ट्रीम. आई विल सी यू गाइज इन द कोहोर्ट और ऑन यूट्यूब. बाय 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 बाय.